This Talladega 2 Trucks and Xfinity Betting Picks 2025 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and we begin already with Jess saying good afternoon, guys. And yes, trucks. It is the Trucks and Xfinity episode of the show where we talk about the Talladega Superspeedway. Like I said yesterday, Ricky Bobby's playground, and just a ton of fun to be had on a wide, expansive track.
Oh, ton of fun. How fitting the photo of me and Corey LaJoie is in the intro there. Obviously a good Truck Series driver now, Rod. So, yeah, look, Talladega. It's so much fun. Coming to the end of the season, 3 racing weekends left. Final super speedway of the year. First time we get to talk about trucks on a super speedway since February. Holy shit. But, yeah, I'm super pumped. It's I told you I was not sorry pre-show here. I have a lot of picks in the dock, and I am really fucking excited.
Yeah, there was nobody left for me to pick, so I'm really just going to turn the show over to Cody and let him take it away because I literally had no one else to talk about.
There's so much out there. There's so many good things. They gave us top 10s for Xfinity on a super speedway. Like, holy shit. Oh, what a time to be alive, Rod. It's just amazing.
What a time to be alive. Old-fashioned football checking in. Our buddy Justin hosting that show. Make sure you go check them out on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He says, speaking of smoking hot.
Miranda in the comments here, obviously.
He said, speaking of smoking hot, look at these dudes. Thank you very much. Most certainly you are as well, my friend. All right, yes, it is time for Talladega. Like Cody said, this is the first super speedway for the trucks since Atlanta earlier in the season. It's just been so frustrating to see that. I mean, they only come here once a year anyways, do the trucks, and everybody now in the swing of the playoffs. So time's running out for the championship 4 to punch your ticket there, and these guys have this race to navigate. None of them are looking forward to it, by the way, because they know super speedways are chaotic, and it's not way you want to get bowed out of the playoff race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's crunch time for these drivers now in all 3 series. Of course, we're into setting the final 4. Jess checking in. She loves her trucks. Of course, she says Heim time. Might be Heim time. I know he's already locked into the championship race. So both number 11s with nothing to worry about, Rod, and Denny Hamlin from the Cup side of things. And, of course, Corey Heim in the Truck Series side of things. Both those guys locked into their respective championship races. And we can obviously break all that down as we start setting up these races. But, this is a big opportunity for all 8 playoff drivers in the Xfinity Series and 7 of them in the Truck Series.
Well, let's do exactly that. But let me remind you, folks, that the NHL is back, and so is the Hockey Gambling Podcast. You can join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest games, storylines, awards, and best bets throughout the season. Let It Slide, one of the best, I think, logos in all of sports gambling history. But yes, all right, so without further ado, because we do have to get through Cody's $1.5 million bets, let's talk about the Truck Series. It's the Love's RV Stop 225. We are set for 85 laps on this 2.660-mile paved track, 266.100 miles around the Talladega Superspeedway in Talladega, Alabama, baby. excited to be taking on this track for, like we said, they only come here once a year, so it's difficult to handicap, but still fun to bet on.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. There's been some very big bets cashed here previously, hopefully again this weekend, and sometimes it goes the chalky way. Of course, it could go either way. The best news about it, Rod, there's only 36 trucks. That means my guy Spencer Boyd's going to make this race, which is usually the struggle for him on the super speedways. But once he gets in, watch out, buddy. We'll be talking about him in a minute. But 36 entries for this one. Brett Holmes, take note of that name and take note of him being in the Tricon #1 truck. Generally not in such a good truck, but good ride for him this weekend. So you love to see that. Nathan Bird, he's back in the 02 for Young's Motorsports. They, of course, have won here before with one Spencer Boyd. Just tossing that out there. 2009 F1 champion, J.J. Yaley. He's getting a good ride. He's going to be in the 7 truck for Spire Motorsports. That's a nice, you don't see him in kind of the elite equipment very often, so good to see for him. The Wrecking Ball is back. Chris Wright, I believe one of Jess's favorites. He's back in the McAnally Hilgeman number 16 truck. Frankie Muniz is returning, Rod. Of course, Malcolm in the middle broke his, was it hand or wrist or something at home a couple of weeks back. Missed a few races, but he's good enough, been cleared to race, so he'll be back in his number 33 truck this week. Greg Van Alst is going to be back in the 35. Luke Fenhouse in the 66. Tyler Tomasi in the 69.
Nice.
Thank you. Caleb Costner. I wonder is he related to Kevin? No word on that. He'll be back in the 74 truck. And old PK, Parker Klegerman in the 75. Oh, let's fucking go.
Lots and lots. Star-studded field in this truck series for sure. Again, lots of fun to be had. All right, Cody, let's get down to the betting card.
Yeah, well, just to set up the playoffs quick, Corey Heim is locked in. Everybody else within 6 points of each other. That is absolutely insane. Obviously, we have this race and then Martinsville next week to find the other 3. Any of these 7 guys win, and they'll advance to Phoenix. And obviously a great chance to earn points and a chance to lose a lot of points here. So Tyler Ankrum, Daniel Hemrick are both 2 points to the good. Raja Karuth, 1 point to the good. And then below the line, Lane Riggs is 1 point to the bad. Majeski, 2 points to the bad. Grant Enfinger and Caden Honeycutt, both 4 points to the bad. So a close-ass fucking race in the truck series when it comes to the playoffs. So you love to see that. That's going to make this weekend very, very exciting. All right, Rod. I know you're ready to get into it because I've got a lot of bets. So let's get into it. And Andrew says the truck series is banned. He'll be back when we start talking Xfinity. Well, yeah, hey, it's a super speedway, Andrew. You go into it again, like we always talk about. Super speedways are for fun. Don't overinvest yourself. Yeah, I got a lot of bets, but it's a lot of dart throws, a lot of big numbers. We're just trying to hit something. Go have fun. Enjoy the sweat. That's what's going to start with one. Brett Holmes, mentioned him as I was talking about the drivers entered in this race. He's going to be in that #1 truck for Tricon. You love to see that. A great truck. Obviously, same equipment that Corey Heim is in, so we know what tier of equipment that is. I'm going to take his top 5 plus 375. He's a local kid from Alabama there in Menford, Alabama. So that's a great storyline. And he's been really good at Talladega in particular, and just been good at super speedways in general. So if you look from 2022 on, so that's, of course, just 3 races for the truck series, but he's 4th in active drivers, so drivers who were entered in this race, I should say, in average finish at 9.3 at Talladega. That's beautiful. Finished 9th place here last year. And then also last year, he finished 11th place at Atlanta and 4th place at Daytona. So 3 for 3, really good super speedway runs. 2023 finished 16th place here, 13th at Atlanta. So again, pretty good runs in both of those. 2022, 3rd place here at Talladega. Very notable, of course. 35th at Daytona. That's essentially his one bad super speedway race in his career. 2021, his first start here, a 15th place finish. So he's been good and gotten to the end in all but one super speedway race that he's attempted. Local kid, big time opportunity. In that one truck, gonna have a lot of friends and family in the stands, all that stuff. Been very good at navigating these races. So I'm gonna take his top 5 plus 375. Then we're gonna jump over to Matt Mills' top 5 at 12-1. Kind of looking up and down the board. You're just trying to find some guys you feel like may have a shot with some value. Sometimes that can be hard. Sometimes that's easier than it's not. I don't have a ton to say about Matt Mills. He finished 13th place at Atlanta, so you like to see that. His other starts over his career aren't great, but he's also in a better ride than he's been in the past in that 42 truck. A 12-1 for a guy that is just a week-to-week guy, been around a little bit, kind of knows what he's doing. Going to take a shot on him at 12-1. And then Spencer Boyd, a guy that I just fucking love betting when it comes to super speedways. Of course, we've thrown him out a couple times. He hasn't been able to make the race. For whatever reason, they don't have the raw speed, but once he gets in the draft, he does not have a problem there. 65-1 for his top 5. He doesn't have to win. Just go out and finish in the top 5. 65-1 for Spencer Boyd. Of the drivers entered in this race, 5th best average finish over the last 3 years here, 10.0. Granted, that's one race that he ran, and it was a 10th place finish. But, hey, last year in this truck, the 76 Freedom Racing truck, 10th place finish. It's 65-1 to finish 5 spots better than that. We know the chaos of super speedways. We know how crazy the end of these races can be. I love Spencer Boyd. 7th place here in 2021, which was his prior start to that. One bad finish here in 2020 where he finished 38th. One here in 2019 in the Young's Motorsports truck. I think I cashed a 150-1 that day on him. That's one of the reasons I love this guy, because he's hit this big-ass bet for me before. And 13th in 2027. So, or 2017, rather. A little foresight. Sorry. Went to the future for a second with 2027. 2017, 13th place. So, 10th, 7th, a win, and 13th in 4 of the 5 starts. The 38th, kind of the outlier, got caught up in a wreck. 19th at Daytona, 19th at Atlanta this year. So, been solid enough in the 2 other races we've had. Last year, though, 5th place finish at Daytona, 11th place finish in 22 at Daytona, 13th in 21. Spencer Boyd, a guy that you can rely on to show up and have good days. He's been around a long time and knows how to work this draft, knows how to find his way up to the front. And a team like that, they struggle a lot week to week. They know this is their opportunity to shine. He's been to victory lane here at Talladega before. You don't need him to win. Just a top 5 at 65-1 for a guy who's won at this track before and performed well in 4 of the 5 races here. I don't know how you don't bet on something like that, Andrew. So get your shit together, Shandy. Just kidding. But yeah, Brett Holmes, Matt Mills, Spencer Boyd, those are my top 5s.
That's a good, and the fact that this is a super speedway, obviously we know that, again, everyone's like, oh, they say to bet on a 65-1. Well, yeah, because we've seen them hit every once in a while. It's not.
Yes.
It's because it's at this is
and these are not like, if I was giving you any of these 3 guys, Matt Mills, you could maybe make an argument for as like a long shot on another track, but Brent Holmes and Spencer Boyd, don't bet on them anywhere outside of a super speedway really at this point in their careers. But at a track like this, those 2 guys are actually the ones with the proven track record at this track in particular. Mills is more of the regular that I'm kind of just throwing the dart on, but that's what makes super speedway racing and betting so much fun. Get these long shot sweats. Boyd is going to be in there mixing it up. He's going to have to avoid the wrecks, right? And then that's going to be key, but there's a good chance he finds his way near the front at the end, and you've got a good shot at hitting the 65-1. It's a number that I just don't think should be that big, but he's so bad week to week that they have to make it this big, and then you kind of get to the track where this is his superpower, so we'll take it.
Indeed. Laura checking in saying, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Laura. Good to see you here.
Good to see Laura.
All right, I'm going to turn my attention to Gio Ruggiero, the driver of the 17 truck vacated by Tay Gray. He's been holding his own this season, and I actually like this group over on Hard Rock. It's group 3, and I'm going to take him to win this group. He's the longest odds guy in this group, and I guess I can understand to a certain extent because he's battling against a couple of playoff drivers in J.J. Yaley and a Cup Series driver, but plus 375 for Gio Ruggiero to win Group 3 over on Hard Rock. He's against Tyler Ankrum, Caden Honeycutt, and J.J. Yaley. But here's the thing about Gio. Like, we've documented how good he actually has been lately. 10 top 10s in 22 starts, 6 top 5s this season, and he's on a pretty solid run right now, right, where he's finished inside of the top 10 in 5 of his last 7 races, or 8 races, rather. And that's a really good stat going into this. Lime Rock, he finished in 3rd. IRP, he started 4th, ended up finishing 25th. Watkins Glen 3rd, Richmond 6th, Darlington 22nd, Bristol 13th, but Loudon last time out 4th, and then Charlotte Roval 3rd. Those are all impressive, but He actually hasn't been bad on the super speedway either. Guess what? Second at Daytona. Finished runner-up in that race after starting in 34th spot. So if that tells you anything about super speedway racing, being able to start 34th and wind up second at the end of it, that is a very good day for Gio. He had an 11th place finish in Atlanta, but he started 22nd in that race as well. So solid runs on super speedways altogether for Gio Ruggiero in that 17 truck. And we also know that 17 truck is always fast. He's battling against Tyler Ankrum, who, again, is a playoff driver and has a pretty decent track record here. He finished on super speedways in general. But Tyler Ankrum at Talladega, it's been mid. I had the tab for Atlanta. Tyler's been better in Atlanta than he's been at Talladega. But Talladega for Tyler Ankrum, 7th in his first start, cool, in 2019 in the 17. But he's had finishes of 16, 28, 10, 33rd, 14th. Sometimes there's these super speedway tracks that drivers just aren't comfortable on, and Talladega seems to be one of them because Daytona, he's okay, right? I mean, he had a 7th place finish, 11th place finish, and 34th in his last 3 engine troubles in the spring race earlier this season on that 18 truck. So, he's okay at Daytona, but he's also got finishes of 27, 28, and 28 in the 26 and 16 truck to start his career off. And then, like I said, he's better at Atlanta, which is not necessarily a full true on super speedway, where he's got finishes of 7th and 3rd in the last couple of races in that track, 26th, 11th, 18th, and 15th to round it out. So I don't know. I know Tyler Ankrum is a playoff driver, but we haven't seen the best of Tyler Ankrum lately, and Gio Ruggiero has been getting the better of him there. As far as when we look at Caden Honeycutt, Caden Honeycutt is another one of those guys where week after week we end up giving you his top 5 or his matchups or whatever and say he's good. But super speedways, Daytona, his only start at Daytona, he finished 35th after an 8th place start. Talladega, he's got finishes of 11th and 19th. And then at Atlanta, 33rd, 6th, and 6th. So if you notice a pattern, a lot of these drivers are better in Atlanta because it races differently. It's a super speedway race still, but it races a little differently. So again, all that to say, I think Gio Ruggiero stands a better chance of beating out these guys, even though there's a couple playoff drivers. And then J.J. Yaley at Talladega, he has one start in 2011, 36th. His transmission broke. Look, and J.J. Yaley hasn't made a Truck Series start since 2021. So it's been a very long time. I know he's getting in that 7 truck. I know it's a storied truck, but you can't expect huge things out of somebody if they haven't raced in a very long time in the series. And the one race they did have on here didn't do very well. So, give me Gio Ruggiero to win that group at plus 375.
Sorry that J.J. Yaley was busy winning 2009 F1 championships, Rob.
That's his fault.
It is his fault. But no, yeah, I like this. Look, Gio's been on fire lately. Came out early on out of the gate, looked good. No arguments from me on this. As much as I love J.J. Yaley, I'd love to bet on him this week being in the 7 truck just because it is a good opportunity for him. Veteran driver, been around forever, but his price is so low, and he's getting thrown in groups like this with guys that are regularly in good equipment. Makes it tough to find a way to get in on him. So, yeah, I'll back you on the Gio player.
Beautiful. All right, we'll get to more of our favorite bets, but first let me tell you about our friends. Betting on Jack Wood.
Real quick, old-fashioned football wants to know if we're betting on Jack Wood. I don't think Jack Wood made either of our cards, but you can. This is the week that you're allowed to bet on Jack Wood because, well, you can bet on just about anybody in the field this week.
You certainly can. So go crazy. Well, don't go crazy on Jack Wood, but, put a little something on Jack Wood.
Be gentle on Jack Wood.
Let's tell you about our friends over at MyBookie.ag. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. There is easy deposit and lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. I'm all in on this Aussie Rules football women's division. So much fun to be watching these ladies go at it on the pitch. Let's take the Gold Coast Suns and the Western Bulldogs. I'm starting to become a fan of the Western Bulldogs. I didn't know I was going to, but here I am. Western is 18.5-point favorites over Gold Coast. Gold Coast, last place on the ladder. Western having themselves some fun. So I'm going to go ahead and take Western and the points. It's minus 127 over on mybookie.ag. So give me some Bulldog love. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by NoVig. NoVig is America's #1 sports prediction market. NoVig, you're getting the best prices. NoVig is available in 35 states and growing. Download the NoVig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with NoVig, promo code SGPN. Let's continue down the betting card for this Talladega truck race, Cody.
Yes. All right. Here's the big box, Rod. I've got a lot of bets stuffed in this one, but that's what we do. So, all right. This is a market I love, and I really love the opportunity this week over on Caesars to get in on top manufacturer in the truck series for all three manufacturers. That is something we rarely see, and so to have that on a super speedway of all places, that's gold, right? That's exactly what we're looking for. That's what we love. Talked about it yesterday on the Cup Series show, but getting in on these top manufacturer stuff on the super speedways is kind of the place to find more value than the top 10 market used to be. Obviously, we don't get top 10s in the truck series at all. So especially with these Ford and Toyota bets that are, very small groups, you might not even have to finish top 5 or even top 10 to end up being the top guy in the manufacturer. So we're going to jump into Ford first, and we're going to take a first shot on old Malcolm in the middle, Frankie Muniz at 60-1. So Fords, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 11 Fords in the group. So a decent amount in this race, but you only got to go out there and beat 10 guys. So that's not too bad at all. And Frankie Muniz, he's not been too bad so far in his short super speedway career. Finished 10th place at Daytona. So he's obviously got the ability to do it. That was his first truck series start on a super speedway. Got a 10th place finish. The next week at Atlanta was a little tougher. Again, that's kind of the less comparable track to this. We'll toss it in there because it is a drafting track. As the cool kids say, drafting is the term for these tracks, of course, now, Rod, not play tracks anymore. But 10th place at Daytona, I think that's something to hang your hat on. And, you look at this group of Fords and Majeski, Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, Ben Rhodes, Jake Garcia, Matt Crafton, all those guys should be good, but one wreck takes out 2-3 of those guys. Somebody gets damaged. Somebody, it doesn't take long to get attrition at the top. Suddenly it's wide open, and you're racing against guys like Tyler Tomasi, Josh Rayum, Jason M. White, Luke Fenhouse. If some of those guys, Piano falls and hits Majeski, and then Riggs and Rhodes get caught up in it, suddenly there's not a lot of Fords you have to beat. You don't have to finish that well. That's why I had a number like 60-1. It's a crazy good number for a guy like Frankie Muniz to finish in the top 10. So, or in the top Ford position rather. So, Frankie Muniz, Malcolm in the middle. Let's take him at 60-1. Top Chevrolet. I'm going to go with Brett Holmes. I already talked about him for the top 5. And I put his number in here wrong. It is actually 18-1, not plus 180. So that makes me feel a lot better. But 18-1. Again, you look at this group, and it's the same story, right? You got Grant Enfinger. He should be good. Corey LaJoie, we love him. Hemrick should be good. You already talked about Ankrum not being great. Cruz, we'll see. Kligerman, we'll see with the equipment. After that, it's J.J. Yaley, and then Brett Holmes is right there. Then you kind of get down into the Jack Woods of the world and the Dawson Suttons, those guys. So give me Brent Holmes to be the top finishing Toyota at 18-1. Brett Holmes, rather, not Brent. And then you can get Spencer Boyd 200-1. I already told you that Spencer Boyd has won here before. He doesn't even have to win. So what if Corey Heim goes out and wins this race? Okay, fine. And what if Lane Riggs is up there and Chandler Smith is up there and Ty Majeski is up there and you have all these other guys up there, and then the top finishing Chevy is Spencer Boyd in 9th, 10th, 11th place because of the way the cards fall? Well, he finished 10th place here last year in this 76 truck. He won here, obviously, a couple of years ago. A 7th place finish, a 13th place finish. Why could at 200-1? Why not take a shot like that? I mean, it's not, again, these Talladega races can be crazy. Sometimes they aren't, but you look at the competition in front of him, and Enfinger, LaJoy, Hemrick, Ankrum, those 4 guys get swept up in one crash. Kligerman, the 75 truck, I'm going to give a bet on him in a minute, but you can't always trust that truck. A couple of these other guys, Chris Wright, ARCA breaks it into a pack and takes out 3 more Chevrolets. Like, Spencer Boyd has the capability to win here, has the capability to finish top 10 like he just did last year. 200-1 is a crazy number for Spencer Boyd. So we're going to take that. And then top Toyota. This is definitely the most interesting group. There's only 5 Toyota trucks in this entire race. So if you bet one of these drivers, you'll now only have to beat 4 people. If you take 2 of them, they only have to beat 3 other drivers. You could easily finish 28th and cash this. Again, if the cards fall right? You need things to happen and to fall correctly, but could easily happen. So I'm just going to go to the bottom of the board and take the bottom 2 drivers, and that's Tanner Gray at 5-1, Tony Breidinger at 12-1. You have these 2 drivers, and all they have to beat is Gio, who, yes, you talked great about, but what if he gets caught up in a wreck, right? Caden Honey, what if he gets caught up in a wreck? And Corey Heim, he's the favorite, but spoiler alert, Corey Heim's not been super great at Talladega in his opportunities here. So he is, since 2022, in the 3 races they've run here, Corey Heim, I got to scroll down, he's 18th in average finish since 2022. So it's not like, and no wins, but he's got top 5, but this is like a place where Corey Heim could get caught up in it. And so you're getting at 5-1 Tanner Gray, at 12-1 Tony Breidinger. It seems kind of crazy that you're getting those. Neither of them super impressive. Tanner, 22nd at Daytona, 15th at Atlanta. Last year, 15th at Daytona, 19th at Atlanta. So solid days, but he has a 4th place finish at Daytona in 2022. And then Tony, she's new to the series, right? A rookie. She's only got 2 starts, 27th, 28th in the couple of races. 27th was Talladega last year, 28th at Daytona, and then 24th at Atlanta. So not great runs, but if everybody else wrecks out and she's all that's left, she might cash this for you, or maybe she continues to get a better finish, which she's been really good at avoiding the chaos and staying out of trouble. We talk about her a lot when we do talk about Truck Series DFS. So, those are the top Toyotas I'm going to take. So I know it's a lot of bets, and we're trying to cram it all in here, but there's a lot of value to be had out on the board. And again, they're almost all longer shots. You're taking small plays, just trying to hit something. Go have a little bit of fun as we kind of throw darts at the board.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, my dart is going to go toward Ben Rhodes, and I'm going to take Ben Rhodes as a top 5 truck. Plus 220 over on Hard Rock is the best number for Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes at Talladega has got 3 top 5 finishes in his last 5 races on this track, including 2 runner-up finishes in 2022 and 2023. Remember, the trucks only come here once a year. Unfortunately, he was caught up in a crash last year that took him out after 38 laps, but he did start on the outside pole. And, here's the thing. Ben Rhodes is going to be one of those truck drivers that you're going to be keeping an eye on all day long, the ebbs and the flows of Ben Rhodes. It's frustrating because, obviously, you expected better out of his season for Ben Rhodes, but he's never going to go away completely. He's going to be one of those guys that's there. He started on the pole in Daytona, unfortunately crashed out. Well, not crashed out, but ended up finishing in 20th in that one, so disappointing day there. Followed it up with a 7th place finish in Atlanta to follow that up. Super Speedway rise outside of Talladega. Ben Rhodes has a win at Daytona and 4 top 10 finishes in 10 starts, 3 of those top 5s. He does have that win in the spring race of 2021, and then of course a 2nd place finish following that out. I did say he started on the pole at 22 laps of the spring race at Daytona. Whatever it is about Atlanta, these guys are so much better than it. Ben Rhodes, 3 top 5 finishes in the super speedway era of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, with a 28th place finish sandwiched in there. But like I said, this season for Ben Rhodes, not what he wanted to, but has still a capable driver, still a good team, and I think could be a top 5 contender by the end of the day. Plus 220 for a top 5 for Ben Rhodes. I'll take that one.
Yeah, I really like this. Ben Rhodes is a guy that's been very, very good here. There wasn't a way that I really loved as I was, picking a billion other drivers. But I do think the top 5 is probably the way to go on him. He's been a very solid driver here and has great results as you laid out. So I got no arguments.
All right. Well, speaking of billions of drivers, your outright card reads as the entire entry list. So let's start going over them.
It does. Well, let's start with, I'm going to go back to just toss in a little bonus here with the number bet, because I think it's just too lopsided, and you have to take this opportunity when you get it at a super speedway. The even number you can get over on Caesars at plus 160. I guess Corey Heim is in an odd numbered car, so that's why you have the even number this much. But as we talked about yesterday, this is the type of bet where you place this and you don't have to worry about, oh, X driver got wrecked out early. You're going to have somebody in the mix no matter what near the end of this race with this type of bet. And you still get some decent drivers in this group of even numbered cars. So as you look through the entry list, you get Nathan Bird. That's exciting. Josh Rayum, Norm Benning. Okay, so I get it, right? We're not off to a great start, but you do get Tyler Ankrum, you get Jason White, you get Dawson Sutton, you get Lane Riggs, so you like that. Chandler Smith has been great here. You get Matt Mills, you get Andres Perez de Lara, you get Caden Honeycutt, you get Luke Fenhouse, you get Caleb Costner, you get Spencer Boyd. Oh, we're talking now, right? Matt Kraft and Ty Majeski. All of those guys fall into that even group. Obviously, the odd side is a little bit more juiced up. Guys like Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger, 2009 F1 champion JJ Yaley, so on and so forth. But plus 160, when you're going to have there's going to be somebody in that mix of 5 to 10 drivers that can win this in the last 2 laps. It's going to be an even numbered truck. I think you have to take a bet like that when you get the opportunity at that number. And I'm not going to pass up what maybe one of could this be it, Rod? Could this be the last chance we get to bet on this guy on a super speedway?
I'd say it ain't so.
I don't know if he's going to race next year. He might get a 500 entry, hopefully. They don't have to make the race. Otherwise, this might be the final time. We might have to retire the picture after this week, so that's going to be sad. But I'm not missing an opportunity to bet on Corey fucking LaJoie. That's right. You can get Corey LaJoie 8-1 to win this race. He is one of the favorites. Don't always love under 10-1 outrights, but in the truck series, I think there's definitely a case to be made for it. Obviously, the Spencer Boyds of the week can win, as has happened before, but a lot of times it is more of the guys up front that do win this race. So 8-1 for him. Not really any truck series starts recently at Talladega, but you go back and you look at what he's done in the Cup Series. 18th place finishes last year, but in the fall of 23, he finished 4th place here in the Cup. 3 top 15 finishes here. 2024 Daytona 500, a 4th place finish. 10th in the August 23 Daytona race. 9 top 15s rather at Daytona in the Cup Series. Atlanta been well documented. He's almost won that race a couple of times. 2 top 5 finishes. Almost won the one race in addition to that, where he ended up with a poor finish after leading with 2 laps to go and almost cashing that huge bet for us. 4 top 15s, and I think there's only run I think he's only run 7 races there in the next gen era. So been very solid there, obviously. If you listen to this show for any amount of time, you know how much money Corey LaJoie's made us betting him on super speedways, so we're going to continue to ride that train. This might be the final ride, unfortunately, but hopefully not. Hopefully we'll still get opportunities to bet on him next year. Parker Kligerman 16-1. So the reason I don't have any other bets on Kligerman, and I kind of just saved him for the outright, is that 75 truck scares me. It's been bad this year. Anytime he's gotten into it, previously you could always rely on that equipment. They always showed up ready to go, ready to compete for wins. That's not been the case. Now, if the equipment doesn't fail, what the equipment's able to do is fine in this race, because you get in the draft, he'll be able to work it, and I'm not concerned there. So, the one thing that scares me is equipment failure, but if that doesn't happen, Parker Kligerman's going to be in the mix for this. He just won the race at Daytona in Connor Zilich's car, right? Zilich starts the race, gets out, Kligerman gets in, well documented. Sorry to bring that up again, Andrew. But he goes on and wins in that 88 car, so he's obviously been very good. Finished ninth here in 2023, 9th place here in 2022, a 37th, 28th place finish, but won back here in 2017 in his previous start to that, 4th place in 2013. He also won back in 2012, way back in the day. 36th at Daytona in the one start he has this year in this truck. Again, I think that was an equipment deal, so that's the one kind of concern. 5th place at Daytona in 2022 here recently in this truck as well, though. So they've done it before. 16-1, I think you're getting a good number for a guy very capable. We'll see if the equipment holds out. That's obviously the biggest question. Brett Holmes, 30-1. I've already talked about him for the top 5. Already talked about him for the top Chevy. He's finished as good as third place here before. 30-1, hometown kid. Best opportunity he's had in this one truck. While, yes, equipment doesn't always matter the most, being in better equipment still is helpful when you get in the situations where you have the opportunity, right? Yes, guys can win in lesser trucks, but if you've got a better truck, it is going to be more helpful to you, assuming you're able to avoid the chaos and whatnot. So, and then you think we're going to pass Spencer Boyd at 300-1? No, we're fucking not. 300-1. He's won here before, and he finished 10th place in this truck last year. He's 300-1, and he's going to make the race. We don't have to worry about that this time. He will make the race. How do you not bet on Spencer Boyd at 300-1? Andrew, if you don't want to bet on the Truck Series, I get it. Just go bet on Spencer Boyd 300-1. Maybe you get a sweat at the end of this, and it brings you back into this. Could fund your entire Truck Series betting card for next year.
That's a good investment. I definitely think, again, these are the types of races that you take these chances on and have some fun. And why not? It'd be fun to cheer for Brett Holmes and be fun to cheer for Spencer Boyd and all these guys as well. So added bonus of having people to cheer for.
Hold on a second. He's won 2 races. Didn't he win Daytona? Was it Daytona he won in the truck and then they took it away?
Yeah.
Is that why he finished 36? So yeah, 16-1 on Kligerman, and he's literally won. They disqualified the truck, which, depending on your book's rules, you might have still got paid for it anyways. But clearly, he's capable of winning. Thank you, TK. I appreciate the reminder.
See, this is why we have the smartest audience in the world. But okay, so my pick to win this race, and it's the only way that I kind of feel comfortable getting in. Laura brought it up earlier. Did Grant win here last year? He did win here last year, and I will take him to repeat that win on this one. He is at plus 850 to repeat as the winner of this race. Look, for Grant Enfinger, this is for me just a straight up, I'm going to say that he's going to do good here again. 34 laps he led last year, started 4th, and ended up winning. It's a second win at Talladega as a truck driver. He's got 4 top 10s, 3 of those top 5s in 11 starts, average finish of 13.2. Again, he's on the outside of the cut line looking in. Not a huge point disadvantage, obviously -4, but this is the opportunity for him to just win and get into the next round and not even sweat it. And I feel like this is a track that he probably had circled knowing that they won last year on this track, and he could do it again, right? You got to bring the same setup. It's the same 9 truck, so it's not as if you're in foreign equipment. Maybe they bring that exact 9 truck to the track, and he ends up winning this race. So, yeah, like I said, the top 5, top 10, all that stuff, we don't get top 10, but matchups, this was the best way that I felt, because I wanted to get in on Enfinger, and I feel like this is probably just the best opportunity to get in on him, especially 8.5-1 for him to win the race. I definitely like it. So that is my outright to win this race.
Nice and simple on Rod's side, nice and crazy on my side. Just the way everybody loves it, Rod.
Absolutely, everybody loves it. I know because I hear it all the time that everybody loves it. All right, we're going to actually get out your betting paper. We're going to go over our bets for this before we go to break and talk Xfinity. So
good idea. It'd be a long recap at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So get out your betting paper. We're going to go over our bets for this Love's Stop.
One thing too, before you recap, while we're in truck mode here, it's another early truck race, 3:00 Central Time on Friday. So 1:00 out there for you on the West Coast, Rod. So don't forget, get your bets in early. Don't look at practice or qualifying at all this weekend. It absolutely matters 0.000%. So go place your bets now whenever you're listening to this ahead of time so you don't miss out on the start of the truck race. Andrew, I'm talking to you. It is not a night race. I know you missed the race at Kansas because of that. It's not a night race, so get in on it.
Indeed. All right. Cody started you off with Brett Holmes as a top 5 truck at plus 375. Matt Mills, top 5 at 12-1. And Spencer Boyd, top 5 at 66-1. I gave you Gio Ruggiero to win Group 3 over on Hard Rock at plus 375 over Tyler Ankrum, Caden Honeycutt, and J.J. Yaley. Cody gave you Frankie Muniz to be the top Ford at 60-1. Brett Holmes to be the top Chevy at 18-1. Spencer Boyd to be the top Chevy at 200-1. And then Tanner Gray to be the top Toyota at 5-1. And Tori Breitender to be the top Toyota at 12-1 as well. I said Ben Rhodes would be a top 5 truck at plus 220 over on Hard Rock. Cody gave you Corey LaJoie to win at 8-1. Parker Kligerman at 16-1, Brett Holmes at 30-1, Spencer Boyd at 300-1, and then tossed in an even number car bet at plus 160 over on Caesars. And I said Grant Enfinger at plus 850 would be my winner of this truck race. All right, we got Xfinity to get to. We'll get to that, but first let me officially tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, and it's available in a ton of sports. Don't believe me? How about the Disc Golf Pro Tour? I gave you Missy Gannon last week. Guess what? She nailed it for us and finished better than not just the 4.5 finishing projection for the tournament that we gave you earlier, but the 1.5 that we doubled down with later on in the week. So I'll give you Paul Macbeth in the 10th DGPT Championship MPO happening on Thursday. His finishing position is projected at 4.5. I'm going to give you the higher than on this one, the better than on this one. You get even 1.09 times your entry on this one. He has got 3 top 2 finishes, not just top 3 or top 4 finishes, but 3 top 2 finishes in his last 5 tournaments out. So go look up the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and Paul Macbeth take his better than 4.5 finishing position for that tournament. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN. NFL is back, baby, and Rhythm is crushing it in NFL and college football with their picks and their props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build. You can win $1,000. Absolutely loving this Thursday night football matchup, Steelers and Bengals. Hey, listen, Rhythm's giving the Bengals plus 4.5 is what they're predicting right now. And I know the line is Bengals 4.7, plus 4.7. The line for the Bengals right now, Bengals 4.5. Take that and run. I do believe that they are going to hold court at home against the Steelers. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25.
Only the second time in history, 2 quarterbacks over the age of 40 squaring off, Rod. So right in your alley there.
Let's go old men. I'm telling you right now, listen, it's the resurgence of the old men. We are taking over again where we rightfully should from all of these young whippersnappers. But all right, Xfinity Series, Cody. It is time for
Xfinity
the
Series.
United Rentals 250. We are set for 94 laps around this 2.660 mile paved track for 250.040 miles around the Talladega Superspeedway. Entry list looking kind of normal, except a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, 38 entries, so they will all make the list. I love all 3 series. We have the max amount of entries, so it'll be full fields in all 3, but not over. So nobody's going to miss any of these races. We're at 36, 38, 40, just like is allowed. So 38 in the Xfinity Series here. Cesar Baccarella, he is going to be back in the number 5 car. That is for Alpha Prime Racing. Maybe put a pin in that name and keep it in mind. Nick Lights is going to be back in the 07. Brendan Butterbean Queen, he's going to be back in the number 11 for Colleague. The number 14 will be Garrett Smithley. Eric Almirola, he's making a return after winning last week. Of course, he'll be back in the number 19 car once again. Already has that car locked into the Owners' Championship at Phoenix. So, and he did confirm he'll be racing in that. David Starr, he's going to be making a return at, speaking of old men, in the number 35 car. Mason Maggio is going to be back in the number 91. Oh, wait a minute. That's not, yeah, it is Mason Maggio. I don't know why that looked funny, but, and Connor Mosek, he is going to be driving the number 99 for Viking Motorsports. Notably, Matt DiBenedetto once again fired near the end of the season. Whatever the deal is with him, constantly getting fired with a couple races to go. Who knows? But that's how it goes. So Xfinity Series playoffs, they're lined up the same. Everybody's playoffs are lined up the same way, right? We're into where we've got 2 races left in the round of 8 for all 3 series. Nobody is locked into the next round, but Connor Zilich and the 88 team, who JC thinks is the dominant team. Maybe this week it'll be evened out, but an 82-point cushion. He does have full mulligan he can use this week, Rod. So he's feeling pretty good. Obviously, be plenty of scenarios for him to lock up his spot to Phoenix this week. Justin Allgaier's got pretty much a mulligan at plus 44. Jesse Love's at plus 20, feeling pretty good. After that, Sam Mayer is only at plus 8. Brandon Jones at minus 8. Sheldon Creed minus 21. Quadple minus 22. Sammy Smith minus 24. Obviously, Talladega, a place where big point swings can happen. So, all of those guys going to be looking to capitalize big time. And any of those 8 drivers, including Connor Zilic, because he's not locked in yet, win, and they will punch their ticket to the Final Four in Phoenix.
Indeed. All right, well then, let's set up the betting card with those guys that are going to be driving hard for a championship bid and some who are looking to spoil that bid.
Yeah, well, speaking of old guys, Rod, let's go with one Ryan Sieg, not Kyle. We're going to go with Ryan. But another guy that, look, I've got my regulars that I bet on every single time we come to these super speedways. Ryan's one of those, and for good reason. He's cashed and made us a lot of money over the years. Going to continue to ride that train. You can get his top 5 at 3-1 over on the ESPN. He's been pretty good, right? So 36th place finish here in the spring, got wiped out, but second place finish here last fall. 17th, 22nd. He did finish 4th here in 2022 October race, 4th in the spring race as well. 11th, 5th, 2nd are some of his other finishes here at Talladega. 5th at Daytona earlier this year. 6th place in 2023 at Daytona. 8th place in 2023. 8th in 22. 4th in 2019. 3rd in 2016. Long record of him being good. They're going to make comments during the broadcast. Oh, look at Ryan Sieg. Look at the run he's having today. Wow, he looks fast. Wow, he looks good. It happens every time. They shouldn't be surprised, yet they find themselves surprised every time. So Ryan Sieg, top 5, 3-1. And we're going to ride with our guy, William Sawalich. You can get his top 5 at plus 450. You can also get his top Toyota at plus 400. So same story with the manufacturers in this one is they're offering all 3 of them, and you love to see that. So pulling up the Xfinity Series, obviously Toyota, once again, the manufacturer that's only got 5 entries. So you only have to beat 4 other guys. So for William Sawalich, Almirola Jones, Taylor Gray, Dean Thompson at 4-1. I kind of like the odds just being in a small group like that. That sets up very nicely, but going to take his top 5 as well at plus 450. He doesn't have a ton of super speedway experience. 28th at Daytona in the spring. They have a 9th place finish though at Atlanta. 37th place finish here, but all 3 of those runs were in the, Sawalich just fucked up every week era. We were making a ton of money fading Sawalich. He's not in that anymore, and he finishes 12th place in the fall race at Daytona. So you like that. Did finish 27th in the Truck Series here last season, so not the best run ever, but young kid, been learning, been improving greatly over the last few weeks for sure, so going to continue to ride him. Jordan Anderson, another one of these guys, he's almost like a super speedway ringer. That's about the only time you see him start races anymore, but he's usually pretty good when he does. So we're going to take his top 5 at 8-1. Finished 33rd and 31st in the last 2 starts here, so got caught up in the shit. Sometimes that stuff is hard to avoid. But prior to that, he had a 5th place finish here in 2021. The Truck Series, he's been very good here, a 36th place finish, but then 11th, 6th, 7th, 21st in there, and 19th in there. You're going to get some bad ones here and there. Nobody's immune to the wrecks, right? But when he avoids the wrecks, he has pretty good runs. He's in competition. At Daytona in the Xfinity Series, 7th, 6th, 4th, 15th, 22nd. That's actually his most recent so if you look at it from his first start to his most recent, it's 22nd, 15th, then 4th, 6th, 7th. So improved a lot, been very good, kind of a guy that is very good at just certain guys, so good at manipulating the draft. They can see the air, right? To go back to that old quote. And Anderson's one of those guys, owns these cars, right? And we generally see other people in the cars week in and week out, but he's betting on himself at super speedways, and we're betting on him too, 8-1 for the top 5. Old Harrison Burton, you can get his top finishing Ford plus 420. Not a lot of Fords in this one. There's a fuck ton of Chevrolets in the Xfinity Series. There's only 5 Fords in the Xfinity Series. Going to be interesting next year as Haas switches to Chevrolet in the Cup Series. You would imagine they'll do the same in the Xfinity Series. Might not have very many Fords left. But old Harrison Burton, what's going on? Does he have plans for next year? We think he probably does, right? Because of the Ford being the Ford emblem being taken out of the graphic that he shared. But plus 420, you only have to beat 4 other guys. One of those guys is Kyle Sieg. Sure, he can hang around, but you're not overly concerned about it. Ryan Sieg, yes, we like for the top 5, but he does get caught up in the wrecks a lot. He's up there mixing it up throughout the whole race. Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed, I think we've seen them take each other out on a super speedway before. So, don't hate that. But Harrison Burton obviously won in the Cup Series last year at Daytona in the fall race, so we know he's capable of it. Finished 8th in this car in the spring race. So an 8th place finish. Could that beat 4 other guys to be the top finishing Ford? absolutely. You don't even have to worry about being inside of the top 5 for all that. 10th place finish back in 2021 here as well. In Daytona, 16th in the spring, or in the fall race rather, but 6th, 9th, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, his finishes before that. So good super speedway racer is one Harrison Burton. We'll take his top 4 to plus 420. Can you throw a nice in on that? I think you can.
Nice. All right. Lots of there to get to. And so I'm going to take, actually, I fully intended, I'm focusing on the other Burton in this one, but I fully intended when I set up this bet to take the other side of this until I really dug into Jeb Burton's stats at Talladega Superspeedway. And he's in a matchup against Nicholas Sanchez. And I got hit by the recency bias for Nick Sanchez because we've seen Nick Sanchez actually run very well lately, right? He's got 3 top 10 finishes in a row between Kansas, Charlotte, and Vegas, right? So 8th at Kansas, 9th at the Roval, and then 5th at Las Vegas, a 3rd place at the road course in Portland, 13th at Bristol, which is pretty good, right? So Nick Sanchez has been steady improving, but then I turned to look at some of his super speedway finishes this season. 35th at Daytona, crashed out of that. Atlanta, I'm starting more and more now to just not factor Atlanta into the super speedway part of it because it seems like all these drivers run better at Atlanta than they do at anywhere else. Talladega, 15th in the spring race there, or the first race of Talladega for Nick Sanchez. But then I looked at what Jeb Burton has done at Talladega just alone, and I was like, you know what? Never mind. Runner-up here in the first race of the season at Talladega for Jeb Burton in that 27 car. 7th place before that, 9th before that, 1st in 2023 in the spring. He's got 2 wins on this track, which is up there in the active driver range for Talladega. 10 starts, 7 top 10s, 4 top 5s, 2 wins, average finish of 7.9. Look, for what we're seeing out of Jeb Burton lately, right, it hasn't been glorious for Jeb Burton, which is why I initially switched to Sanchez in my mind until I started to dig in. But, Jeb Burton, 26th at Vegas last week, 6th at the Roval, 30th at Kansas, 18th at Bristol, 36th at Gateway, 7th at Portland, which is good, but 20th at Daytona, right? It hasn't been all wine and roses for him. In fact, he did have a 16th place finish in Daytona earlier in the season, followed by a 6th place at Atlanta. So, super speedway racing seems to be where Jeb kind of flourishes a little bit, and especially at Talladega. Whereas Nick Sanchez, look, I get it. Nick Sanchez is now out of the playoff race, so the pressure's off of him for the most part, and Jeb Burton just never made it. So these two guys really aren't racing for much but a good finish. And for Jeb Burton, he was just runner-up here in the spring. Like, he knows how to get around super speedways. He knows how to stay out of trouble. He knows how to run the draft. And, I just feel like Nick Sanchez may take too many chances. He's a young driver still. He definitely is aggressive when it comes to driving altogether, right? We know that he's aggressive, and we see it happen. That happened at Daytona earlier where he finished in 35th to start the year off. So, yeah, and then he finished 23rd in the fall race at Daytona. So, Nick Sanchez just not necessarily finesse enough for this track, whereas Jeb Burton can get it done. So give me Jeb Burton over Nick Sanchez, minus 115 over on Caesars.
Yeah, I love this. I wanted to find another ways to bet on Jeb, but I couldn't quite do it. And just, TK bringing up and Charles, right? Charles says Dega owes Jeb one. He won that race in his books. And, Jeb wanted a recount. Remember that Zilich crash where he one of his 15 injuries he's had this year, but he got dumped from the lead, and then it was, when did the caution come out? Jeb was clearly the leader, but they gave it to, I don't remember who they gave it to anyways, but and Jeb was super emotional, crying after the race. That was the reason he missed the playoffs, because obviously that would have put him in the playoffs over his cousin. He's been very, very good at this track. Got fucking robbed here in the spring. He's going to be out for blood this week. I love that. And Sanchez just got bounced from the playoffs. We've seen in the Cups some big letdowns. A guy like Jeb, I think he's constantly always racing for a job. Sanchez probably has a job for next season. Jeb has been on this team for a few years now, but he's one of those fringe guys that's always looking for a good performance. That's right. The terrorist won that race. I forgot. Austin Hill. But Jeb is going to be out for blood this week. So I'm glad you found a way to bet on him, because I really do like Jeb Burton this week.
Indeed. All right, you like a lot of other guys too in this next block. Who we got?
I do. Here's my one matchup for the day. We're going to go over to DraftKings where you can get Jesse Love at even money. If I told you were getting Jesse Love at even money against anybody in this field, I think that you would be like, wow, that's crazy. Because Jesse Love, in his 3 starts here in the Xfinity Series, has a win in his first career start, a 6th place finish in his second career start, and a 3rd place finish in his 3rd career start. So 3 starts, all inside of the top 6 at the end of the day. Now, if I told you the guy he was matched up against sure has 1 win, but also has finishes of 23rd, 14th, 18th, 14th, 27th, and 33rd, which side of it would you take? You would take the Jesse Love side. But what we're not factoring into the number is that guy is Austin Hill. You think of Austin Hill, you think, oh my God, the king of super speedways. Yes, at Daytona and Atlanta, but not so much at Talladega. Now, I say that, and he did win here in the spring. So, that definitely, he got that win and got that monkey off his back. But prior to that, I just read off the finishes. He didn't even have a top 10 before that. 23rd, 14th, 18th, 14th, 27th, 33rd. Jesse Love's 3 for 3 in the top 6. They're in equal equipment. They're going to work together. Yes. Love is still in the playoffs, right? And Hill is not. Mm-hmm. So Rich is going to have a conversation. Hey, if it comes down to it, Jesse needs to win this race more than you do. And that is a conversation I guarantee you Richard Childress will have with Austin Hill. And, the other thing about Austin Hill is, yes, he won here in the spring, and we've seen races before where nobody wanted to work with him. I don't think anybody, nobody wants to work with him because he's so good at super speedways. But his reputation latter half of this season, I don't think anybody's going to cut this guy any breaks. They're not going to give him room. They're not going to let him in. They're going to leave him out to dry. I don't think Austin Hill has many people to work with other than Jesse Love in this race. And I think that when it comes down to it, Jesse needs to get the finish to get a chance to race at Phoenix for the championship. So even money, you don't even have to pay minus money for a guy that has finished 3rd, 6th, and 1st in his 3 races here and easily beat Austin Hill in 2 of those 3. And the one he didn't, he was 2 spots behind him. So I love Jesse Love over Austin Hill in this one. Even money over on the DraftKings. Fast Pasta, we talked about him yesterday, talking about him again today. You can get his top 10 plus 175 and top finishing Chevy 300, or not 3, I wish it was 300 to 1, plus 3,000 rather, so 30 to 1. There's a lot of fucking Chevrolets in this race, yes, so you're probably going to have to finish top 5 in order to get that, but there are scenarios where you get some Toyotas hooked up, you get some Fords hooked up, maybe those guys, get that and it ends up being 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever it is. But Alfredo is also just capable of scoring a better finish than that anyways. But just for him to finish in the top 10, being at almost 2 to 1, love that as well. Finished 6th here in the spring. That's a top 10 and a shot at top Chevrolet, right? So you like that. 29th place last fall, but 3rd place here last spring. So 2 of the last 3 inside of the top 6. A 3rd place finish. You're telling me that could be the top finishing Chevrolet? Absolutely, it could, to toss in that 30 to 1 bet. One bad 37th place finish, but then 16th, 6th, 12th, 6th place finishes. 7th and 8th place at Daytona already this year, or not this year, but in 2023 and 2022, he has good finishes like that. So you like to see it. A guy we constantly come back to when it comes to super speedways. Saw it last year, tracks like Michigan, where they used the super speedway package or drafting track package as well, where he showed up and performed well. So a driver that I am fairly certain we've never talked about on this program before, and we might never talk about again other than hopefully to celebrate his top 10 finish next week. But Cesar Baccarella, I'm going to take his top 10 plus 750. So look, the fact that we're getting Xfinity Series top 10s, you got to take advantage. Now, this is a guy on a week-to-week basis is probably 75 to 1 for a top 10. I mean, if even that, right? Because he's not a top 10 contender. But when you come to super speedways, how many times we have to say it, but everybody can finish top 10. I love this even more than a Spencer Boyd. Okay, I like the Spencer Boyd bets better, but we have to finish top 5 to cash the Spencer Boyd bet, right? You only have to finish top 10 for this. That's even better. Plus 750, I think, is a great number. Baccarella has actually been pretty good here at Talladega. So first 4 starts were not great, kind of 30s, 20s. But then after that, a 6th place finish and a 7th place finish. He finished 30th here in the spring, so not immune to finishing bad, right? But 7th and 6th place finishes in 2 of his last 3 starts here at Talladega. Okay, now we're talking. And actually, so I misread that. If you go back 2020, one of his earliest starts here, 17th and a 13th in the other 2020 race. Then he had that string of bad finishes, then the 7th to 6th. So old days he was able to do it. More recently, he's been able to do it. 13th place in Daytona. So that's a good finish. Also had a 12th, and that was just here in the spring. So this year in the Alpha Prime car that he's driving right now, same car, all that deal. And a 12th place finish there in 2021. So very capable of top 10s. We're getting very close to the top 10. Cesar Baccarella, a guy that you're not going to hear us talk about often, maybe never even again, but a top 10 at plus 750 for what's out there, what's available. I think that there is some value to be had here. And again, that's only have to get in the top 10. That's not top 5, obviously, is half the spots. So it's much harder, but top 10 makes you feel a lot better about a bet like this. So sliding over to the top Toyota market, only 5 Toyotas in the race. We already gave out the Williams-Swalich portion of this at 4-1. Also going to take Dean Thompson at plus 650. So now you've got, again, just like we did in the Truck Series, the 2 longest Toyotas. They only have to beat 3 other drivers. Plus 650 for Dean Thompson. And Dean, the mustache, as we've dubbed him, has been very good on the super speedways here recently. Or he's been really good everywhere recently, but been good on the super speedways this year. He's a rookie this season, but opens the year with an 8th place at Daytona, 35th at Atlanta, fine. But 18th here in the spring, 7th place at Daytona here in the fall. He's had some really good runs. A 7th and 8th, even an 18th could be pushing for top Toyota if the cards fall right. Plus 650, I think, is worth a shot on Dean Thompson.
Mustaches, yeah, I definitely, again, this is one where you can pretty much have fun cheering for your favorite drivers. I love the Love One over Hill. I'll even talk about that a little bit later in a second. But I will give you my winning car number pick for this race, and that is going to be odd at minus 105. Odds, the underdog. And I get it. It's because Zilich is in the 88, and everybody thinks that Zilich is going to win. But as we've seen before, it's not a lock with Zilich, especially on a super speedway race. It's not a road course. And for Connor Zilich, obviously last week we saw what happened. He can be got by the right kind of car, even on a race where he should end up winning this one. He did win at Daytona. I will give him that. That is absolutely something he can go out and do, but he can also go out and not win.
Well, he didn't the stat sheet.
On the stat sheet, yes.
But we all know he wasn't driving the car.
Exactly. But 27th at Daytona earlier, 34th in Atlanta as well, kind of proves that he can be got on super speedways. So that is why I'm sure the odd one is the right one. So what does this give you? Well, it gives you Quapple. It gives you Allgaier. It also gives you Brendan Queen, if you want to root for Brendan Queen to win this race. It gives you Eric Almirola, who we know can do this. And this is the one way to get in on Hill that won't make you feel yucky. Because if you do win with Hill on the 21, betting on this odd number car, then you'll be like, okay, that's great. But it also gives you Jeff Burton, and then it gives you Sam Mayer, which is another solid one in there as well. So, yeah, I mean, it gives you some pretty good heavy hitters in that one, but mainly, I think, because of Allgaier, because of Sam Mayer, even in that one, makes me feel good. And Eric Almirola part of this makes me feel really good. The Jeff Burton part of it makes me feel real good. So, I just feel like if you're going to have some fun betting on half the field, betting on the winning car number odd will give you some fun. And then, of course, like I said, this is the one way to get in on Austin Hill winning this race that's not going to make you feel gross because you didn't technically bet on him, but you're still benefiting from him winning this race. So give me a winning car number odd at minus 105.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked in Kyle Larson yesterday. I didn't have to bet him, but he's included in that number bet just in case it comes through. So look, I don't usually argue with you on number bets, so I don't think I'll start now.
Indeed. All right, because a couple of yours are actually backing my play anyways. So let's get to the outrights.
That they are. I wanted to catch up on the chat real quick. You guys have been popping off, which I love to see. Hunter checking in with Frankie Muniz coming back for this race. Top 10 long shots. We don't get top 10s in the Truck Series, but go back and listen to the Truck Series part of things. And I did give out a bet on Frankie a good way, I think, that to get in on him. He agrees on Jesse Love as well, thinks that he's going to be very good here. TK pointing out Austin Hill is in the owner's playoff race, so I did forget about that. I still think they're probably going to lean towards winning the driver part of things with Love, but maybe not, I guess, as much. So, and then, JC commenting on the Jeb Burton. That was such bullshit. But Joshua checking in. Good to see you, Joshua. We live. Goddamn. Let's get weird with the parlay. Come on with it. We need to build more Cup Series parlays for sure. Manufacturer parlays at a track like this, that's the way to really get down. So if you want to get crazy, join us in the Discord. We might build some manufacturer parlays because that'll be a lot of fun. All right, Rod. Outright portion of this. Again, all long shots. You split it up into small, 1 unit, 2 units, whatever, and split it up between all these guys. That's kind of how we're looking. Obviously, you've got the Loves at the top of the board. I don't like Austin Hill as much as I kind of pointed out, but capable of winning, right? But I'm going to jump to Eric Almirola, 16-1, one of the better drivers in the series. He's just out there racing. He's already locked into the Owners' Championship. He doesn't have anything to worry about when it comes to that. He can just go out and run his race. He's a good super speedway racer. He's a good, crafty veteran, been doing this for a long time. He's won at Talladega before in the Xfinity Series, racing for Biaggi Denbest Racing. I don't know who that is. I think likely that was a Stuart Haas car back in 2017, but I don't even remember that team, so that is what it is. But won here in that car, 4 top 10s and 7 starts at this track in the Xfinity Series. Also won at Daytona in 2016 in that same car, 4 top 11 finishes in his last 8 starts. Tough day here in spring, but he was running really well. He was up front, mixing it up with the leaders, got caught up in one of those later wrecks. That's going to happen, right? But 16-1 for a veteran driver like Eric Almirola with nothing to lose. You always like a bet like that. Ryan Sieg, been so close so many times. Second place last fall. Maybe this is the one, Rod. We don't get the 80-1s on him like we used to, unfortunately, but at 20-1, I'm still going to take it. Brandon Jones, 28-1. He's a guy that always keeps you in the mix in these types of races. He's finished second place twice at Talladega. Just finished 6th place at Daytona a couple of weeks ago. He's got an opportunity to lock himself into Phoenix. Hopefully you got that championship ticket on him before he gets locked in there. He's really good at Phoenix. Love me some Brandon Jones back home at JGR, 28-1. I love the play on that. Fast Pasta, Anthony Alfredo at 50-1. Talked about him quite a bit already as well. So he's got the capability. 3rd place finish here not too long ago. He's able to put it near the front at the end with a chance. That's what you're looking for in a long shot like this. Dean Thompson, I'm going to ride the mustache until it falls off, Rod. 65-1. Why not? And Jordan Anderson, who I talked about as well, 65-1. That wraps up the outrights.
If you were in the Discord, you saw my one attempt at growing a mustache, and that was it. I just can't do it. I can't pull it off. I'm not a mustache guy, much to my daughter's chagrin because she loves mustaches, but I can't do it. It's just not something I can do.
Mustaches are the cool things these days, right?
Yes, and that's why Dean Thompson is so good, is because that mustache is so good. But,
that's right. Power of the mustache.
Yeah, well, apparently people love them some mustaches, but I love Love. I'm going to take him as the outright winner. Somebody, Hunter said this might be Love's race for the taking. I agree with you, Hunter. 6-1 for Jesse Love on Caesars is what you can find his best number out there. Look, Jesse Love, you were at his stats off earlier. Talladega is just his playground. Started on the pole in the last couple of them. He finished first here in his first career start on this. Has led laps in all 3 of his starts. Doesn't have a finish worse than 6th in his 3 starts. So, with an average finish of 3.3 on a super speedway, all it takes is for somebody to push you in the right line and get to the front and lead at the very end. And he's not bad at super speedways altogether, right? Oh, guess what? He won at Daytona to start the year this year and then finished 16th in Atlanta. But it's weird because if you're good, if you're good at some super speedways and not good in Atlanta, but you're bad at super speedways and good at Atlanta, it's Atlanta's such a weird outlier, right? It's hard to sort of make that work into it anymore. As we get more and more, remember in the beginning we always talked about, oh yeah, this is super speedway stuff, and we're going to compare. But as we start to see this track sort of take off, the numbers don't necessarily always bear out for us. But Daytona for Jesse Love, he finished 4th here in the fall. Atlanta was a 6th place finish as well there too. So we know Jesse Love is a super speedway racer. We know that Austin Hill is going to be his wingman, probably the only wingman, like you said, in the field. So we're going to hope that those two can pilot their way to the front, and that Jesse Love in that playoff hope, because Jesse Love is third place right now, 20 points to the good, but it would just be nice for him to get that little check mark and that checkered flag by his name to just get him into the round of four, the final four, just once and for all, right? And have no question about it. He's got the right teammate to do it. He's got the right manufacturer to get to the front because of the millions of Chevys, and when they all put together, or even they can break off and still have a better effect on the draft than Fords and Toyotas. So, Jesse Love just in a nice position. Really solid track record here. Think he can win at 6-1.
Yeah, there's zero arguments for me. Obviously, painted the picture for him over Hill. You know, most super speedways, if you're going to beat Hill, you're going to have to probably win the race. So, there's zero arguments for me. And I will say in the Xfinity series, and Hill in particular, but even Justin Haley when he had his run, we've seen that the Xfinity series of the three, the favorite or favorites tend to win much more often than the other two. So I don't have like a specific number right in front of me, but just from doing this long enough, the favorites definitely hit in the Xfinity series much more often than the other two series. I don't mind having a guy like Love. And I think for what he's done here at 6-1, it's not even that bad of a number.
Yeah, and it really isn't. That's the thing, too. I was looking around. It's plus 500, plus 550 in some cases, so I like the fact that you're getting just a little bit more of a bump. Because if you look back, you're right, it's Austin Hill, it's Sammy Smith, it's Jesse Love, it's Jeb Burton, it's AJ Allmendinger, it's Noah Gragson, and you think about all of those guys, maybe Jeb Burton may be the outlier, and maybe Jesse Love.
But even that, like, his second win here, so not that much of a surprise. Like, Love, it was his first start, but RCR guy. Noah was obviously in the 8 car or in the 9 car for JRM. So you don't get a lot of upset. They can happen, right? And that's why we take the long shots. We've seen it a few times, but it does land on the favorites more than it doesn't.
Indeed. All right, well then, get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our bets for this Xfinity race at Talladega. Cody, started you off with Ryan Sieg as a top 5 car at 3-1. William Sawalich as a top 5 car at plus 450. Top Toyota at 4-1. Jordan Anderson, top 5 at 8-1. Harrison Burton, top Ford at plus 420. I said Jeb Burton, his cousin, would finish over Nick Sanchez at minus 115. Cody gave you Jesse Love over Austin Hill at even money, and then gave you Anthony Alfredo as a top 10 car at plus 175. Added the top Chevy at 30-1. And then Beccarella as a top 10 car at plus 750. Not on Caesars. He is Caesar. And then Dean Thompson as the top Toyota at plus 650. I said the winning car would be odd at minus 105. Cody said Eric Almirola 16-1. Ryan Sieg 20-1. Brandon Jones 28-1. Anthony Alfredo 50-1. Dean Thompson 65-1. Jordan Anderson 65-1 to win the race. I said Jesse Love at plus 600 to win this race. Laura's saying plus 550 for Jesse. Yeah, I mean, I still take it. I like 600 better.
Yeah. Hey, take what you can get. But yeah, if you get the 600, obviously a little bit of a better number. I know there's a lot of picks. I know it's a lot of stuff, but really, really excited for these two races. Final super speedway of the season. So make sure you go out and enjoy it. Again, be responsible as you should always be, but even more so here in these super speedway races. Crazy shit's going to happen, but sometimes the crazy shit's what leads to cash in some of these bets, and that's what makes it a lot of fun. So, be light, expect to lose it all. And if some of these can come through, we're going to have us a nice, mighty fine weekend. So pretty excited. Don't forget Truck Series race early, 4 o'clock Eastern time, green flag. All 3 races, by the way, on the big networks this weekend. So, I'd love to see that.
Well, they want to be on the big networks because they just got taken by NHRA drag racing, and they're not too happy about it.
NFL lead in. Yeah.
I know, I get it.
Don't overlook it or don't overthink it.
No, I will not. But all right, well then, we'll send you on your way to go fill out your betting cards. And in the meantime, Cody, let everyone know where they can find you out in the wild.
Yeah, Laura reminding everybody Eric Jones Sunday. So happy Eric Jones week. All right. Yeah. Follow me, Rod, over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. Find all my stuff over there. Lots of it. College football stuff, NFL stuff, basketball stuff, all sorts of stuff. Everybody's rooting for it to all hell to break loose and get wild. Me too. Best of luck this weekend at Talladega. See you guys tomorrow for some DFS talk.
It's the few times of the year that you can just expect it and be happy when it happens. You know, obviously you don't want that to happen at Las Vegas, but at Talladega, bring it on, baby. If Ricky Bobby and Gerard aren't racing for the Ed in their underwear at the end of this race, it's not worth it. Did it even happen? That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is the one race where getting NASCAR is not a bad thing always.
Indeed. All right, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. You can find all of my crazy stuff and my musings on games that I don't appreciate over there as well. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow with some DFS talk. Maybe we'll bring the wheel back. Maybe we won't. You got to be there to find out. But until then, let's go racing and let it ride.